Welcome back to Movies Recapped. Today I will show you an action thriller movie from 2018, called The Outsider. Warning: spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. The year is 1945. An American man sweeps and mops in a prison in Osaka that is populated largely by members of the Yakuza, who are recognizable by their style of tattoo. He walks into the room that a group of Japanese men just left and finds another man hanging from the ceiling. He rushes to save the man and calls for help from the guards. Later, the hanging man and the American are kneeling in front of the warden, and they are being punished for their actions. The American, who doesn't speak Japanese, is thrown into solitary for saving the man's life. He is left there for some time to suffer alone. His only real communication with outside his cell being the guards that leave meager food amounts and spray him with water. Eventually, the hanging man is thrown into the cell with him. Luckily for the American, this other man does speak English. His name is Kiyoshi, and we learn that the American's name is Nick Lowell. The two of them hatch a plan to escape. Kiyoshi says that when a prisoner tries to kill themselves, they are sent to the hospital. Once he is there, his brothers will come for him. Then, they will come to get Nick as a thanks for saving his life. It turns out that Kiyoshi is a member of a specific clan within the Yakuza called the Shiromatsu. This plan goes off without a hitch. Once Kiyoshi is out, he uses his connections to get Nick out. He also arranges for Nick to get a job with the Shiromatsu. This job involves negotiating with another American named Anthony Panetti. He is a businessman who very much dislikes and distrusts the Japanese. Because of this, he refuses to negotiate with the Shiromatsu. Just a few minutes into the meeting, Nick beats Anthony several times across the head with a typewriter because of his racist remarks. He assures Kiyoshi that Anthony will live and reconsider the deal. Later at a nightclub, several members from a rival clan, the Shizu, come from Kobe to try to intimidate the Shiromatsu. It turns out that Anthony had already made a deal to do his business with them, even though his warehouse is in Shiromatsu territory. The Shizu say that they absolutely are coming for their area, and under their new leadership, they plan on taking everything from them. While they are threatening to take everything, they also insult the Shiromatsu for having Nick with them. Nick doesn't take this lightly and attacks the man that spoke ill of him. This almost causes a shootout inside the club. Despite his violent and rash actions, Kiyoshi likes Nick. He upgrades his living space to a luxurious apartment and gives him an expensive suit. The two come upon a gambling den in Shiromatsu territory that the Shiromatsu didn't authorize. Kiyoshi, eager to prove the strength of his clan after the skirmish with the Shizu, shuts it down. He says that all debts incurred there tonight should be paid to his family, and then he speaks with the man hosting the event. Kiyoshi ends up killing the man and taking his money to send a message to others who may be wanting some new leadership in Osaka. Another high-ranking member of the Shiromatsu asks Kiyoshi why he's keeping Nick around when he has finished serving his purpose and urges him to send him away. To further show his support and trust of Nick, Kiyoshi has him drive his own sister, Miyu, home when she's drunk at the Shiromatsu nightclub. He ends up spending the night with her after she invites him in. The next day, Nick is given a new task and is told that everything will change if it goes well. This new job is to handle a black market arms deal with the US Army. Kiyoshi says that no one can know the Shiromatsu are involved. When he shows up, though, he is ambushed by a group of 4 Shizu. They threaten to shoot him when they can't find the money for the deal. Nick ends up killing 2 of them and learns that there were no guns for sale. In order to avoid an all-out war with the Shizu, and to apologize to the patriarch of the Shiromatsu for their actions, Kiyoshi and Nick partake in an act of yubitsume. This is where the offenders cut off the tips of their own pinky fingers and send them to the person they have wronged, in this case the leader of the Shizu. He accepts this gift of penance. After this display, Nick is driven by the patriarch of the Shiromatsu into the woods. He asks Nick if he knows who passed information about the arms deal along to the Shizu. He says no, but that he would tell him if he did know. Nick is then walked through the woods towards a large group of Shiromatsu who are at a temple. It is there that he is made a full member of the Shiromatsu clan through an initiation ritual. Now that he is officially a Yakuza, Kiyoshi tells Nick that he can't see her sister anymore. The Yakuza cannot love anyone. Love and connections are dangerous for them. The only reason she does any work at all for the Shiromatsu is so that Kiyoshi can keep an eye on her better and keep her safe. Despite this warning, Nick chooses to continue his relationship with Miyu and gets a tattoo on his back that is similar to hers. In a bid to continue the peace between the two clans, the Shizu offer to go in on a deal with the Shiromatsu. However, the aging patriarch of the Shiromatsu refuses it. He doesn't want to change his ways to match the post-war economy. He is also offended that the Shizu patriarch sent a representative and didn't come himself, and when he is told that all the Kobe families are getting involved in the deal, he says that they are not in Kobe. Even though other members of his family tell him it's a good investment, he doesn't want to be under the thumb of the Shizu. One night after work, Miyu is assaulted by her ex-lover. He beats her, calls her a whore, and says that he misses their times together. While a sumo contest is being held, the Shiromatsu and Shizu hold a meeting. The Shizu leader acknowledges that the Shiromatsu patriarch was disrespected by his previous offer. The old man says that wasn't the case at all. He was disrespected by the Shizu leader. He disagrees. He says he has more respect for him than he could possibly know. He then offers to let the Shiromatsu leader retire in peace, and sauce that the Shiromatsu will be absorbed into the Shizu. The Shiromatsu leader is greatly offended by this. He refuses this offer and tells the man to be careful on his way home. As he is walking back from this meeting, Nick is recognized by someone from his past. An American Marine on leave named Polly Bauer says that Nick looks pretty good for a dead man. As it turns out, Nick is his former captain and was presumed dead after being sought after for dodging a court-martial. Polly threatens to tell the Marines that he's alive and in Osaka. In response, Nick invites him back to his apartment where he kills him. Not long after killing his former brother in arms, Nick goes over to Miyu's house and learns of her assault. He is prepared to get revenge in that instant, but Miyu is able to calm his anger by telling him that she's pregnant. The two are then forced to tell Kiyoshi that they continued their relationship without his permission. He tells Nick that from now on, he is responsible for her safety and well-being. He also gives him a daisho, which is a pair of ceremonial swords that signify honor. After their talk, Kiyoshi goes with Nick to bury Bowers in the woods. Some time later, Nick is at the tailor shop with the Shiromatsu patriarch and a few other men. Nick saves the life of the patriarch as someone tries to strangle and kill him. During their attempt to flee, though, Kiyoshi is shot and killed by members of the Shiromatsu clan. Nick and the patriarch realize that many of the Shiromatsu, including some of the most trusted individuals, have defected to the Shizu. Although the remaining members of the Shiromatsu clan do not want to go to war, Nick persuades the patriarch that open war is not only the best option, but the only option. He, along with the remaining Shiromatsu, assassinates many Shizu members. To stop the bloodshed, the Shizu leader reaches out and calls for peace talks to be held on neutral ground. This ends up being a trap, and the Shiromatsu boss is stabbed in the back by one of his own former trusted men. Nick is shot in the leg by a sniper, and many of the other Shiromatsu men are injured in an ambush. They are offered a place in the Shizu family, and Nick is told he can guarantee Miyu's safety if he leaves Osaka. All refuse this offer, but are allowed to live. After this setup, the police raid and burn down the Shiromatsu club. Unbothered by the Shizu's threat, Nick returns to Miyu and tells her that they must leave. He then makes his way to the Shizu clan's dojo with Kiyoshi's daisho and demands for his chance to fight and kill the man that killed his patriarch. The Shizu refuses to fight him since he is an outsider. Nick quickly draws his sword and slits the man's throat. Before any of the other Shizu can kill Nick, the patriarch intervenes and commands him to leave. Nick makes his way to a safe house where Miyu and a few of the remaining Shiromatsu are waiting. He holds her close, and the men bow to him. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.